Hi, it's Jennifer with En-Soil University, and today we're out at a horse pasture, out at the stables where we've got horses out on the field, and we're able to apply our En-Soil with horses on the pasture. It's safe for horses, and what we're trying to do here is replace all of the NPK with our biostimulant so that we don't have to remove the horses. It's safe for the horses, bees, everything out here. Okay, so today what we're going to do, I've already put my water in my tank. This is a 60-gallon tank, but I only filled it up to here, which is about 50 gallons. I'm going to put a quarter of this liter, so that'll cover 4.5 acres or so, which I've got, that'll be about 2.5 of the paddocks that I've got out here. We're on a beautiful 10-acre horse farm out here, so it's really gorgeous. What I made sure that I did before I started filling my water is I turned my valve off to my sprayers and to my, this has got a handheld unit too. So I turned my water off because I've made that mistake and dripped water onto the ground, which you're losing part of your algae, and I don't want to lose any of it. Make sure all of it goes out in the pasture. So make sure your valve is closed while you're filling up your tank. And also, in case you've never used one of these before, you're going to hook up your tank to your battery. My battery for this ATV is right under the seat, so you just hook that up there so that you've got your power going to your tank. Make sure your on-off button is handy to you while you're driving so that you can turn it off when you're going to the location that you're headed towards. Sometimes my grandchildren or my children are riding with me, so I get somebody to use that button for me. If you're going to use your hand sprayer, that's awesome too. I have a few areas around here where I'll pull out the sprayer and hand spray some things, but for the most part I'm doing the paddocks out here, which you'll see in a minute. So I'm just gonna, like I said, I filled up my tank. Out here, you're gonna make sure your water source is close by to where you're working. My water source is also the water source for the horses. This is Lip and Oz and Lore out here today. So I'm just going to eyeball this. You can also make a mark where you are, because I'm going to come back and do this some more later. I have kept this refrigerated, and I'm going to come back and put it in the refrigerator when I get done. So I'm going to actually put my finger down there to where I want to pour to. See where my thumb is? That's a quarter of it. So I'm going to pour this in my tank, check into a quarter of it. There you go. All right, so I've got a quarter of my liter. Okay, close up my tank. I'm gonna wait and open up my valve again so I don't lose any of it on the road on the way out. And now we're ready to head out. Come on out to the field. So we're out in the paddock right now. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my nozzle here. I'm going to make sure I've got a good angle with my, see how it starts to drip out? I'm going to make sure I've got a good angle with that. I'm going to check that as I drive. So you'll see me checking to make sure that that angle is right. I'll go ahead and turn on my power. Once I get going, I'll keep checking to make sure that it should be about 12 feet or so. And then I'll pick out something to look at. So I don't have the little markers with this, so I'll just keep going. I'll look at a tree this way, and they'll turn around 24 feet and look at a tree this way, make sure that I got my coverage real tall. So I'm going to get on the gator and keep going. So I've lined up right now with this tree with the Spanish moss. I'm about 24 feet from my last line. You can see my tracks. So I'm just lining up with a beautiful tree in this particular space so that I can make sure I've got full coverage. And I'm trying not to get too close to I want to go rail to rail, because I also want to go, even though the horses are going to run up against the rail, but I want that soil to be strong too. Don't want that to get real sandy, because that's what happens out here in the field, because they're going to run up and down that line. But I want that soil to be strong too and hold as much, I want it to hold water, and I want it to hold as much organic matter as it will, even with the horses on it. So we're out here in the pasture with Presagio 240 and Relicario. And if they don't mind, we're going to go ahead and spray out here. The En-Soil will not harm them at all. In fact, Chlorella vulgaris is actually used in some animal feeds. Not in the feed that they're using, but we're going to use it out here in their paddock. They don't mind. I also happen to take care of them in the evenings, so they know me. And I sprayed out here with them before. And guys, if y'all don't mind, and lady, if y'all don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and spray the field. Is that okay with you guys? That's a yes. That's the way they say yes. So part of the beautiful part of En-Soil is that you don't have to worry about using it around watersheds, around ponds, streams, lakes. You don't have to worry about any of that because they don't have harmful nitrate runoff. You don't have to worry about your soil being depleted because of the heavy synthetic NPK used in your soil. So use Enlightened Soil products, En-Soil specifically, on your farm, on your pastures, in your soil, with an easy heart.